الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه وسلم أما بعد يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم واخشوا يوما لا يجزي والد عن ولده ولا مولود هو جاز عن والده شيئا إن وعد الله حق فلا تغرنكم الحياة الدنيا ولا يغرنكم بالله الغرور يا أيها الذين آمنوا توبوا إلى الله توبة نصوحا وتوبوا إلى الله جميعا أيها المؤمنون لعلكم تفلحون إن الله يغفر الذنوب جميعا إنه هو الغفور الرحيم أما بعد فقد قال الله عز وجل في كتاب عزيز بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وسارعوا إلى مغفرة من ربكم وجنة عرضها السماوات والأرض أعدت للمتقين وقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم اللهم لا عيش إلا عيش الآخرة أو كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام. Respected brothers, sisters, elders, esteemed listeners at home, obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the messenger is life. Meaning that there is life in it, there is value in such a life. The life that is devoid of Allah and His messenger, that life is going to be devoid of direction, navigation, and plotting a course. That we will have no direction, we will not know which way to turn. When the Prophet ﷺ, when he exhorted his companions in a particular campaign, the Prophet ﷺ said, قُومُوا إِلَى جَنَّةٍ عَرْضُهَا السَّمَاوَاتُ وَالْأَرْضِ, that rush and hasten towards a paradise the width of which is greater than the width of the heavens and the earth. So the Sahaba, their attitude was that they never delayed when it came to performance of good deeds, carrying out a good deed. There was no such thing as delay. They never tarried. They never took their time when it came to performance of good deed. Meaning that it's now or never. It is now or never. There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow because tomorrow there's no guarantee. You and I, we know that there is no guarantee that we are going to wake up tomorrow. There is no such guarantee. What is the same? That yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery and today is a gift. And that is why it is called the present. So this is what it's all about. That we have to live in the now when it comes to worship of Allah and obeying and adhering to the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. There was one companion by the name of Umayr. And this is in the Battle of Uhud. He has a date in his hand. He has a date in his hand. And he has just heard this exhortation of the Prophet ﷺ. So what does he say? He says, لَإِنْ حُيِّيتَ فِي حَتَّى آكُلَ تَمَرَاتِ هَذِهِ إِنَّهَا لَحَيَاةٌ طَوِيلَةٌ. So Umayr radiallahu anh, he says, when he hears the exhortation of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, قُومُوا إِلَى جَنَّةٍ عَرْضُهَا السَّمَاوَاتُ وَالْأَرْضِ, that rush towards a paradise the width of which is greater than the width of the heavens and the earth. So he hears this, and he says to himself, he has this date in his hand. So he says to himself that, Umayr, you want to delay your entry into paradise by chewing a date, by digesting it, by just wasting your time in carrying out this good action, carrying out this good deed. So what does he do? He dropped forward and he marched forward. He dropped that date and he marched forward. He dropped the date and he marched forward. And the hadith says, رَقْدًا إِلَى اللَّهِ. رَقْدًا إِلَى اللَّهِ. What does that mean? It means that he struck the ground with a purpose. In this context, it means that he struck the ground with a purpose. That he didn't delay. He wasn't tarrying. He wanted to carry out this virtuous deed for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as quickly as possible. So he walked with a purpose. He walked with an aim to accomplish something and to execute this intention that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala just put in his mind. So if we want to give charity, then we should do it tonight. We should do it now. Right? Any kind of khayr that pops into our head, we shouldn't delay. That, okay, I'm going to do it tomorrow. I'm going to take my time. I'm young. I'm not sick. Nothing's going to happen to me. This kind of attitude, this is what shaitan constantly puts in our mind. Shaitan, this is his job, to put these kind of excuses into our minds. So if we want to give charity, then we should do it now. If we want to donate something, contact the relevant people and make it happen. You want to commence memorization of the Quran or learn how to read Quran properly, the time is now. There is no such thing as tomorrow that I'm going to wait. I'll wait till Ramadan. This is when I'm going to start my recitation. No. The time for performing good deeds is now. Anytime we are inspired by any good deed, if it comes in our head, it should not be delayed. It should be done immediately. I recall reading in the biographical entry of Hakim bin Hizam. He was the nephew of Khadija al-Kubra radiallahu anha. And on account of his wisdom and intelligence, he was admitted into Darul Nadwa at the age of 15. What is Darul Nadwa? Darul Nadwa is the parliament of the Quraysh. This served as the parliament for the Quraysh. So you have basically the movers and shakers of the Quraysh who would participate in Darul Nadwa. So one of his many good qualities, he accepted Islam in the conquest of Makkah. Hakim bin Hizam, he was the nephew of Khadija al-Kubra radiallahu anha. So one of his many good qualities was that his generosity and his willingness to spend on others, starting with the family. Obviously, we know that charity, it starts at home. It begins at home. Right? Charity, it begins at home. That this is what we need to do. That we need to serve, first and foremost, we need to serve our families first. They have priority over everyone. Our families have priority over everyone. So one of his good qualities was that he was generous. He was generous, first and foremost, to his families, and secondly, he was generous to his extended relatives. After that, everyone else. So it comes that كانت دار الندوة بيده. So Darul Nadwa, it was in his hands, meaning that he had proprietorship over it. He was owner over it. فباعها بعد من معاوية ب100,000 dirham. So he sold it to Muawiyah radiallahu anhu for 1,000 dirham. He sold it for 100,000 dirham. He sold it for 100,000 dirham, and he gave all of that amount in charity. That 100,000 dirham, he gave it in charity. فَلَامُ ibn Zubayr. So Ibn Zubayr, Abdullah ibn Zubayr, who was his nephew, he reprimanded him that, why did you give the entire amount? فَقَالُ يَبْنَ أَخِي. So he says that, oh my brother's son, اشْتَرَيْتُ بِهَا دَارًا فِي الْجَنَّةِ. That in lieu of this amount that I have given, in lieu of this 100,000 that I have given in charity, I have purchased an abode in Jannah. Jannah was a real thing to them. Jannah was a real concept to them. They understood the reality of the hereafter. They understood the reality of the akhirah. فَتَصَدَّقْ بِالدَّرَاهِمْ كُلَّهَا. He gave all of that. He gave that entire amount in charity. This was how the Sahaba, they rushed to perform good deeds. There was no delaying. There was no wavering. There was no tarrying. So strike while it's hot. Strike while it's hot. Today, I might want to perform a good deed, but tomorrow it's impossible It's possible that external factors will deny me. Today I might want to do something, but when tomorrow comes, we don't know what kind of external factors are going to be thrown our way, in which we will be prevented from carrying out that good deed, that good action. Imam Shafi, rahimahullah, he mentions in his diwan, وَمَنْ فَاتُ التَّعْلِيمِ وَقْتَ شَبَابِهِ فَكَبِّرْ عَلَيْهِ أَرْبًا لِوَفَاتِهِ. Amazing. So he's saying, وَمَنْ فَاتُهُ التَّعْلِيمِ وَقْتَ شَبَابِهِ فَكَبِّرْ عَلَيْهِ أَرْبًا لِوَفَاتِهِ وَذَاتُ الْفَتَى وَاللَّهِ بِالْعِلْمِ وَالتُّقَى إِذَا لَمْ يَكُونَا لَا اِعْتِبَارَ لِذَاتِهِ. See, Imam Shafi rahimahullah, he's saying that وَمَنْ فَاتُهُ التَّعْلِيمِ وَقْتَ شَبَابِهِ, that person, when he was young, when he was in the vigor of his youth, and at that time, that's the opportune time to learn. That is the opportune time for obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now this is not to create despondency. Obviously, learning Islam, learning Deen, this continues until the day we die. Imam Shafi rahimahullah is making a point over here. So he's saying, وَمَنْ فَاتُ التَّعْلِيمِ وَقْتَ شَبَابِهِ, whoever has missed that ship, whoever has missed that opportunity when he was young, فَكَبِّرْ عَلَيْهِ أَرْبًا, then that person, he should, فَكَبِّرْ عَلَيْهِ أَرْبًا, he should do 4 takbirat for janazah. He should do 4 takbirat of janazah. He is not physically dead, but that person is spiritually dead. That person is spiritually dead. So, Imam Shafi, وَذَاتُ الْفَتَى وَاللَّهِ بِالْإِلْمِ وَالتُّقَى, the beauty and essence of youth, the beauty and essence of youth when a person is strong, when a person has ability, is what? Ilm wa tuqa. It's knowledge and taqwa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is knowledge and fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to be God conscious. إِذَا لَمْ يَكُونَ لَا اِعْتِبَارِ لِذَاتِهِ. If a person doesn't possess this, if a person doesn't have this, لَا اِعْتِبَارِ لِذَاتِهِ, his life has no value. His life has no value. So as I said, our life is given value when we obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when we follow in the footsteps of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And again, I don't want to create despondency. As I said, that ilm and acquiring knowledge, obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that continues. That continues until the day that we leave this world. What we need to understand and what we need to, more than anything, acquire is that shawq, that hayman, that desire that I want to do better. I want to do good. So hasten. When any kind of inspiration comes, when any good inspiration comes across, then hasten towards virtue and get it done. We know the story of Hiraqal, right? Hadith al-Bukhari, we know the story of Hiraqal. When he said, when Abu Sufyan and Hiraqal, they had that dialogue. So Hiraqal said, after acknowledging that yes, indeed this man is a prophet, all of the qualities that you have thus far mentioned, this person is definitely the promised prophet that has come in our book. So what happened? Hiraqal said, لَتَجَشَّمْتُ لِقَاءَهُ لَكَلَّفْتُ نَفْسِي, meaning that I would go through great pain to meet him. But he never carried out this intention. So he had this desire, he had this thing in his heart that I want to carry out, I want to go through great pains to meet Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But what happened? His nation rebelled. And revolted against him. He had to say, I just wanted to test you. All I did, I just wanted to test you. I'm not going to forsake the religion. The point I'm trying to make, he had this intention at that time. That I most certainly would like to meet Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But he couldn't carry it out. And who knows? If he had gone and visited Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it's possible that he could have accepted Islam. So when the whisper or inspiration is there, cling to it and do it. There will be no regrets. We have seen people in the past months, they've been panic shopping, right? We have seen people in the past months, they've been panic shopping. Why is that? Because fear of losing out on a sale, fear of losing out on essentials. We are losing time on a daily basis. Every single day we're losing time daily, and yet the same urgency is not there to right the ship. That same urgency is not there. We need to stock up on actions. Right? Nowadays people stock up on toilet paper. We need to stock up on actions. This is what we need to do. Stock up on actions. If we have qada fasts, Ramadan is around the corner. If we have qada fasts, accumulated prayers, outstanding salat, if we have not performed our full hajj, get it done now. Get it done now. Do it now, my brother and sister. This is what we need to do. If that inspiration strikes, if it comes, then we need not delay. We have to do it now. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has referred to Qiyamah in the Quran as tomorrow. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has referred to Qiyamah as today in the Quran. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has referred to Qiyamah as very close. What does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say? إِنَّهُمْ يَرَوْنَهُ بَعِيدًا وَنَرَاهُ قَرِيبًا. Surah Ma'arij. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إِنَّهُمْ يَرَوْنَهُ بَعِيدًا. They think that Qiyamah is distant. They think Qiyamah is distant. It's far away. وَنَرَاهُ قَرِيبًا. But we know that it is very close. We know that Qiyamah is very close. سَيَعْلَمُونَ غَدًا مَنِ الْكَذَّابُ الْأَشْرِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions that they will know tomorrow. Qiyamah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is referring to Qiyamah as tomorrow. They will know tomorrow. Man al-kadhab, who is the liar? Who is the slanderer? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has referred to the Qiyamah as today, tomorrow, and very close. فَالْيَوْمَ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا مِنَ الْكُفَّارِ يَضْحَكُونَ. فَالْيَوْمَ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا مِنَ الْكُفَّارِ يَضْحَكُونَ. That today, those who believe مِنَ الْكُفَّارِ يَضْحَكُونَ, they are going to be laughing at the disbelievers. So Qiyamah is close, brothers and sisters. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned this in the Quran. We don't know when it is, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has referred to the Qiyamah that it is close, that it is today, it is tomorrow. So when the desire to do good comes, nourish it, nurture it, sustain it, move forward with it, develop it. I recall the reason of Imam Bukhari, rahimahullah. He began writing his Sahih. What was the reason? It's amazing that a few decades back, his ancestors were all Majus. Imam Bukhari's ancestors, they were all Majus. His lineage is Muhammad bin Ismail bin Ibrahim bin Mughira bin Bardizbah. Bardizbah was Majus. He was Majus. And his son Mughira, he accepted Islam. And Muhammad bin Ismail al-Bukhari, so 4 generations back, and his ancestors were Majus. Imagine the sacrifices the Sahaba made. Imagine the sacrifice. I find this fascinating. What kind of sacrifices the Sahaba must have made in that region for people to come into the fold of Islam. And then the likes of Imam Bukhari, rahimahullah, is produced. So anyway, I'm off the topic. So he mentions that وَالسَّبَبْ فِي ذَلِكَ مَا رَوَاهُ عَنْهُ إِبْرَاهِمُ بْنُ مَعْقَلَ النَّسَفِي. That one of the reasons why Imam Bukhari began to compile his Sahih, as mentioned by his student Ibrahim bin Ma'qal al-Nasafi, was كُنَّا عِنْدَ إِسْحَاقَ بْنِ رَاهْوَيْ. That we were sitting with Ishaq bin Rahway. فَقَالَ, and he suggested, this was just a suggestion from Ishaq bin Rahway, لو جمعتم كتابا مختصرا لصحيح سنة النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. That perhaps you should compile a book where only the sahih and authentic narrations are recorded. قال, so Imam Bukhari rahimahullah, he says, فَوَقَى ذَلِكَ فِي قَلْبِي. This thought, it entered into my heart, it stuck over there, فَأَخَذْتُ. I held fast to it. I held fast to this thought. So I was inspired to start this undertaking. I was inspired to start this undertaking. No delay. No delay in starting this undertaking. So he started this great undertaking, no delay. And this is a lesson for us, that if we start something after any kind of inspiration to do good, perhaps its goodness will continue. Like Imam Bukhari Sahih. How do people know? How is the compilation of Bukhari defined today? Asahul Kutub ba'da Kitabillah, yes? Asahul Kutub ba'da Kitabillah. It's the most authentic book after the Quran. The most authentic book after the Quran. So perform and hasten towards good deeds. Stay away from sin. Stay away from sin. Shaitan is a very smooth operator. Shaitan is a smooth operator. He isn't going to directly attack our iman and our a'mal directly. He's going to do it in a clandestine manner. Our iman is protected similar to castle fortifications. Our iman is protected similar to castle fortifications. A person is in the habit of performing nafil, sunnah, right? He's doing his fard. Shaitan is not going to attack that person's fard. He's going to attack that person's nafil first and foremost. Until that person, he stops offering his nawafil. Then he's going to go after sunnah. Until those sunnah are completely omitted. Until he's not doing his sunnah anymore. Then he's going to attack his fard. And how is he going to attack the fard? He's not going to say that, oh, just miss your fard. No, he's going to start. He has all the time in the world. So what he's going to do, he's going to say that, maybe you should delay it. And then we're going to keep on delaying it until ultimately it becomes qada. This is how shaitan operates. And then we will miss our fard altogether. This is why it is important that with our fara'id, we offer our sunnah, we offer our nawafil. These are all fortifications. These are all barriers against the machinations of shaitan. So, reading Quran. If a person is in the habit of reciting Quran, first, shaitan is going to put that thought in our mind that if we have that habit of reading half juz, that okay, maybe today you can read quarter. And that's going to become less and less and less. Then he's going to put that thought, today you're tired, you can leave it, do it tomorrow. And like that, a person is going to start missing reciting the Quran. Whatever is of recitation of Quran, he's going to miss that altogether. So it's easy to do good. When we want to do good, it's very simple to do good. When we desire to do good, it's very easy. And we're going to be rewarded for that. But understand that the struggle is performing good deeds when we don't want to. Right? When we don't want to, that's the real struggle. That when we don't want to do it, when we feel lazy. When we feel lazy, we feel sleepy. That is the time to perform good deeds. Our pious predecessors, they tell us that before committing a sin, think of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's punishment. Think of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the baqsa rabbika la shadid. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's punishment, this is severe. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's punishment is severe. And if we perpetrate the sin, if we carry out that sin, then think of the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't become despondent from the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, otherwise this is kufr. This will take one to the brink of kufr. The problem today is that we, before sinning, already envision the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That okay, if I do this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is merciful, He's going to forgive me anyway. This is wrong. So our battle with shaitan, this will continue until we leave this world. What's the saying? That the most difficult thing in life is that it's daily. The most difficult thing in life is that it is daily. If we escape from the clutches of shaitan one day, we have to do it all together tomorrow. We have to do it again tomorrow. Every day this is going to be a struggle. And this is the mujahada. This is where the mujahada is. And this will continue until we are entered into our graves. What are graveyards? The graveyard is a place, a silent place with the loudest message. The graveyard is a silent place with the loudest message. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله فاستغفروه الغفور الرحيم. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستهديه ونشكره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهد الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد بن عبد الله وعلى آله وصحبه وعلى أما بعد عباد الله فإني أوصيكم ونفسي بتقوى الله العلي العظيم القائل في محكم كتابه يا أيها الذين آمنوا قوا أنفسكم وأهليكم نارا وقودها الناس والحجارة عليها ملائكة غلاظ شداد لا يعصون الله ما أمرهم ويفعلون ما يؤمرون واعلموا أن الله أمركم بأمر عظيم أمركم بالصلاة والسلام على النبي الكريم فقال إن الله ملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما صليت على سيدنا إبراهيم وعلى آل سيدنا إبراهيم اللهم صل على محمد كما صليت على سيدنا إبراهيم وعلى آل سيدنا إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد يقول الله تعالى يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم إن زلزلة الساعة شيء عظيم يوم ترونها تذهل كل مرضعة أما أرضعت وتضع كل ذات حمل حملها وترى الناس سكارى وما هم بسكارى ولكن عذاب الله شديد اللهم إنا دعوناك فاستجب لنا دعانا فاغفر اللهم لنا ذنوبنا وإسرافنا في أمرنا اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات الأحياء منهم والأموات ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار اللهم اجعلنا هداة مهتدين غير ضالين ولا مضلين اللهم استر عوراتنا وآمن روعاتنا واكفنا ما همنا وقنا شر ما نتخوف اللهم اجعل اجتماعنا هذا اجتماعا مرحوما وتفرقنا ببعض تفرقا معصوما ولا تجعل فينا ولا معنا شقيا ولا محروما اللهم تقبل منا صلاتنا وقيامنا وركوعنا وسجودنا وتقبل منا صالح أعمالنا واجعلنا من المقبولين في الدنيا والآخرة ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما اللهم اجعل أولادنا أبرارا أتقياء وأنبتهم في الإسلام إلى بعد حسنة. اللهم اصلح ديننا كله، اللهم اصلح شأننا كله. اللهم اجعل آخر كلامنا من الدنيا لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله. عباد الله، إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. اذكروا الله العظيم يذكركم واشكروه يزدكم واستغفروا يغفر لكم واتقوا يجعل لكم من أمركم مخرجا. وقم الصلاة. Two announcements for me. Brother Dr. Tahir Effendi's parents, they are sick in Pakistan. Everyone is requested to make dua, shifa for them. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant them a swift cure. And Dr. Munir Ahmed, he's the brother-in-law of Brother Ashraf Shahab. He is also ill. Everyone is requested to keep them in their pious du'as. Jazakumullah khairan. Allahu Akbar.